Thanks for joining us once again for your update from the city of New Hope each week, trying to check in with the mayor to see what's new in the city, what's coming up. Good morning, Mayor Elder. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. How are you, Dave?
I'm very good. Thanks for being with us here, recording on Monday, the 25th. A lot to talk about. In fact, we'll get right to it here with something coming up tonight on the 25th, and that is a city council meeting and an EDA meeting. Give us a quick highlight, Mayor, of what's coming up on the agenda tonight.
Boys, starting out right away, we have the Rave Awards. And this is the awards that are given out for people that have gone above and beyond on their external appearance of their property. And 5 properties were selected to receive the awards this year. Engraved rocks have been ordered, and they will be received tonight at the council meeting. So we're appreciative to the people that are doing these things. Also to our judges, Carrie Newberger from the Citizens Advisory Commission, Rick Riley and Bruce Wills also from the CAC serving as our judges this year. So thanks to everybody involved.
Yeah, congratulations to those homeowners. And then to consent business, a number of items here that will be touched on at tonight's meeting.
Yeah, we're going to start out obviously with the financial claims. We do that every council meeting. And then we have 2 business registrations that we have to approve. What it boils down to is the way that the state the state legislature has given was the Office of Cannabis Management will handle the licensure of all marijuana THC sales throughout the entire state. So cities don't have the opportunity or ability to say, we're just not going to have any of that in our city. Now, they have mandatory minimum number of licenses cities have to make available, and it's based off a population. So New Hope, with a population of about 20,000 people, the law says we have to make 2 recreational licenses available, and it's one per every 14,000 people or portion thereof. Now, with that, if there happens to be a medical marijuana distributor in your city, that business automatically gets grandfathered in, and it does not count towards your mandatory minimum licenses you have to make available.
Sure.
So whereas New Hope, the state statute says, no, you have to make 2 available, because we have Rise that has been in the community for a few years, we have to make 3 available. So Rise is one, and there's another group that has requested a registration. So we have to approve those by statute. We will be talking tonight and approving a on-sale temporary liquor license to St. Joe's Church off of 36th Avenue North for their annual Oktoberfest event. We will approve the public safety aid money expenditure for part of our records management system for the police department. And there's a change order that we need to approve for the South Water Tower. And that covers the council meeting. So it's not that extensive tonight. We also have an EDA meeting, but that's all going to be on community development stuff. So that's where we're at for this evening's meetings.
Very good. And we'll touch more on that water tower in just a minute, of the good news of completion of that great task there. All right, let's get to some other things happening around the city. And this is a day full of some events, but also this past weekend had a few things occur as well. And one of those was a sad date related to the pool. The season is over, I understand.
It is. Yep. On Sunday, the 24th, was the last day of the pool. We were able to run it a week longer than years previously. I'm still pushing for an additional week, but we'll see what we can do for that. Look forward to seeing what the numbers are going to look like as we do all the final closeouts.
Mhm.
It was a monster year for our pool, our residents and visitors. And so we're looking forward to seeing just how monster it was.
All right. And later this week, if you want to get out, there's some things happening in the city. Give us a quick look at some music I understand coming. And also, again, the market is going strong.
Absolutely. On Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m., we have a music in the parks, and it's going to be Ruckus in the Bear Brush.
Hmm.
And that's at the New Hope Performance Center. And then on Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m., we have the New Hope Community Farmers Market, and that's at the New Hope Church right there on 42nd in Gettysburg.
Let's hop into community development in our update, talk about a few things happening there. And the first you might be hearing in the news coming up here related to Hy-Vee in the city of New Hope. And Mayor, put on your high finance cap for us for a minute. What does this mean? What is this process that is happening?
Yeah, I was briefed on this a couple months ago, and my first reaction was, "Holy buckets! This is bad," but it's not.
Mhm.
Hy-Vee recently sold the land and building for their grocery store in New Hope to another company called Exchange Right, and the in that transaction, they entered into a 20-year lease to stay where they're at.
Mhm.
So it's a process that a number of companies do, and it enables them to get an influx of cash so that they can continue to expand. So it makes sense. I just was very concerned when I heard that they were selling.
Right.
And interestingly, it does not include the convenience or gas station, just the
Mhm.
grocery. So Hy-Vee's here to stay, and we're grateful for that.
Next item under community development is they get out their golf club soon to get into a tournament over at the New Hope Village Golf Course. Again, remind us the date and the details of that fun tournament.
You bet. It's going to be the 28th annual Minneapolis Regional Chamber Golf event, September 19th at noon. It's a fantastic event. It is wrought with businesses and business owners from many, many different companies across the metro. And it's just a fun event. It is open to the public. And so if anyone wants to do that, please contact Parks and Recreation through the city of New Hope.
All right, New Hope website, newhopemn.gov. You can get their contact information there. Also, you can get information about the business networking group. They're busy with the area businesses, and they've got a fun event coming up in early September. Again, remind us of their next stop on their networking tour.
Yeah, September 3rd at 2 p.m., Cullen's Ice Cream is going to be having the business networking group for Crystal and New Hope there. And this is where a lot of the businesses in New Hope get together and work together to see how they can really help each other succeed. Also discuss things, challenges that they're seeing, bring up solutions. It's a great thing, and it's always fun to connect with our businesses in town.
Not a bad idea to meet at an ice cream shop as well. So I'm sure they'll have a good crowd there.
I bet we will.
Scatter site housing, we're going to make three stops for you today to keep you up to date on this work happening in the city. The first is 4220 and 22 Nevada. We have some interior work happening here.
Yep. This was one lot that had a home for about $240,000 on it. And we bought the home. The land was big enough to make into two properties. So we did that, sold it to Exceptional Homes and Remodelers, and they have bought both homes. They are doing the interior work on those homes, and the homes are expected to be listed on the MLS for just under $580,000 each. So you look at that and you see what the tax implications are for really making this happen. It's the big reason behind the scattered site housing is to bring in tax base as well as to beautify areas that have become dilapidated. So a real success story there when it's all said and done.
And another side benefit of this program is working with the fire department and police department. And you have a occurrence of that coming up here at one home. Give us some more details of the fire department heading out.
You bet. On September 9th, the fire department's going to be using the property at 5416 Virginia Avenue North for non-destructive training. And so, whereas there shouldn't be a lot of smoke and flames, you will certainly see a number of fire trucks there. And it's probably won't just be trucks from West Metro. Plymouth may be there, Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, Robbinsdale Fire. Those other agencies may utilize this space as well.
Mhm.
So when you see a whole gaggle of fire trucks in that area on September 9th, at least now you know why.
Very good. One final property on Quebec that you wanted to give a quick update on of some work that is happening here that's very visible to residents now.
Yeah, 6048 Quebec Avenue North was a property that was well known to the city. And so we were ecstatic when we were able to purchase this and tear down the home. Right now, the excavation work is underway and the concrete foundation for the new home has been poured. So residents who put up with an awful lot for a while certainly are going to start seeing the fruits of the labor of this program. And so we're really excited to see what comes out of this.
One final note in community development for those that live around Cooper High School, you may have noticed a lot of work happening up on the top of the school. And Mayor, you're here to tell us it's done.
Absolutely. The roofing project at the top of Cooper High School is complete, and that permit has been inspected and it's closed out. So we're really happy that that's done, and the neighbors can stop having to put up with the noise.
Very good. Let's stop to the police department. A couple updates here for you. And the first relates to interviews, some interview process taking place now. Bring us up to date on that.
Yeah, the police department, which normally doesn't have many openings, has two openings, one through a retirement and one through an officer going to another agency. And two of our individuals on staff did interview three people for two police officer positions. And so we're moving along and getting people hired. They're now set up to meet with the personnel board. And if they get certified, they will then go on to their final interview with the chief and the city manager.
Also in police, our weekly update of incident reports. How are we looking as far as numbers this past week?
Again, a slower week than we've seen in years past over the same time period. There were 433 police-related incidents from August 14th to the 20th. So again, whereas there's less incidents, it's giving us more time to spend on the calls that we're on. And so that's super important, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. But it's
Mhm.
a great work being done by our staffs.
All right, that further look is here in the officer spotlight, and this is a fun one because it's kind of from the lens of a resident as opposed
Yeah,
lens from the police department. What did residents recently have to say?
yeah. We know the great work that's being done by our police department, and it's great to hear it from residents. And so we got two really passionate compliments and feedback on some of our staff. This last week, we had a homeowner reach out to express their extreme gratitude to everyone who responded to their house fire on the 15th, stated everybody was incredibly kind, professional, and made a real difference during their tough and emotional situation. Also wanted to thank Officer Chelsea Smith as she spent time with them answering all of their questions. Um, Absolutely important. And as I said, as our police related number of incidents goes down, it allows our officers to spend more time on the calls that they're on. And so that's really, really important. Also had another resident reach out to express their gratitude to Officer Lesnikowski, who responded to an accident where the resident had been hit by a car while riding his bike. He was super appreciative to Officer Lesnikowski, who took the extra time to take his bike to his residence instead of to the department, and then having them try to figure out how to get it later. As a person that had no other means of transportation, this meant a great deal to him, that the care that the department took for their residents. So kudos out to Officer Smith and Lesnikowski for taking that extra time to make a difference. And so often, you ask a police officer, why did you get into this line of work? And the standard pat answer is, well, I want to help people.
Mhm.
And that's a great answer. But to see our officers, excuse me, really taking the extra time to make that difference, that's absolutely huge. So, um, thank you to the residents who shared their
Yeah.
appreciation. Thank you to our officers, who continually do a great job.
Let's move ahead to Public Works. You earlier mentioned the water tower, something that's on the consent agenda to do some final work there. But this is something that from the outside, we've all driven by it and said, well, it looks like it's done. Isn't it ready to go? But there's a lot after it's painted that has to be done, but you can officially tell us what now.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And we had to drain the tower. And so after it was all painted and inspected, we had to fill it. And that took an incredible amount of time because there's millions of gallons of water involved there.
Sure.
And so, um, once you get the bowl filled, then you have to go through a series of bacteria tests because we want to make sure our water's safe to drink. So we finally made it through all of the different bacteria tests, and it's now back up and running. So it was done in the 13 weeks we were promised. And whereas it took an incredible amount of work, not only sandblasting it, doing some re-welds, cleaning it, and getting it filled again. There was a great deal of work on the front end by the Joint Water Commission and
Sure.
their engineers to tool up the entire system to make sure that it was going to be working well.
Mm.
So, just glad this won't be happening for another 26 years.
That's right. We won't have to talk about it for a while. We
Correct.
will want to talk about Park and Rec, though, and some of the
Yeah.
things happening there. And here's a few fun pictures. And Mayor, it sounds like about everyone with little kids was out at the park the other day.
It's, I went to this and it was the Teddy Bear Band performed a kids show. They're incredibly entertaining, and we had over 200 people in attendance. Literally just a great group and a ton of fun to witness it and to see all of the kids really, really get involved.
We mentioned the aquatic park earlier, stating that from the resident standpoint, swimming is now over, but that doesn't mean work is done for the staff. So just remind us here in our Park and Rec update, what has to be done to get that pool put to bed?
Well, it's going to start with draining the majority of the water out of it. And then it's going to be winterizing the system. It's going to be getting everything cleaned up and stored properly. It's going to be dealing with the chemicals that we have that are left over. So there's a lot of work. And on the business side of it, you have to do all the accounting, all the
Sure.
numbers, all the analysis. As I said, this was an incredible year for it. We had great warm weather. But again, there's an incredible amount of work on the front end, or on the tail end of
Hmm.
this. So we'll get that done and be ready. Start thinking for next year.
Sounds good. We might have a few numbers in the coming weeks to tell you about of how
Yeah,
great the season was. Let's touch on
yeah.
finance for just a minute. And this one may not seem like it fits in finance, but it really is something that's being done to help finance. And this is water meters. How are we doing there?
Absolutely. As we've talked about in the past, the city is replacing all of the water meters. They've reached end of life. We have to replace about 3,600 water meters still, and we've to date installed over 2,200. So we still have 3,600 left. We are doing this work in-house with our own team instead of contracting it out. And by our teams working harder, we're saving the city over $1 million by not hiring it out.
Mm.
So great dedication by our public works teams, and our finance department's going to be happy when it's all done.
Sure they will. One final stop is the communications department, always busy keeping residents in touch, and a few things that they've been working on. One is the survey that is still out there for people. Again, remind us the importance of the survey and where people can take that.
You bet. The survey is super important because it allows us, the council, the ability to know what people are thinking, what they like, what they don't like, what they want us to keep doing, what they think we need to tweak or change. Um, I love going through the surveys. And if people have questions, they can ask for a call back from the that particular department in the city, and they are making calls back to people. So you can take the city through October 1st or until October 1st, and it can be accessed at the city website, newhopemn.gov/survey.
All right, get out there and get involved. And one final note in communications, there's been some much needed and appreciated help
Yeah.
here recently through an intern, but those days are now coming to an end as somebody has to go back to school, I would guess. Is that right?
100%. Yep. We had our first communications intern this past summer, and we were lucky enough to get a gal by the name of Lily Schumacher, and she worked with Beth Kramer and did internship work and brought a lot of great young talent to the division, and really worked hard and was a joy to work with. So we wish her the best, and we'll look forward to hopefully doing this again next year.
Fantastic. And a reminder as we close here, this is the guide that is out now talking about programs coming up in the city. Look for the little wrestler guys here. You can find this at City Hall and also went out to residents as well. And we're going to leave you with a few other events coming up that might be in that book here in just a second. Mayor, thanks again for your time. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Dave, thank you so much. Be well.
For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.